p3loans.com, which is where you can prepare and get your application going. Instead of walking through a live demo, I'm going to just click through the process so that you know what documents you should be prepared with, and just get an idea of what questions you'll be asked. So the first step in the process is to provide information about your company. It's pretty basic. Most of this information is what's required by the application. So business name, tax ID, address. And then we have a requirement to collect information for any owners that have a 20% or more ownership stake in the business. We have heard that some lenders are requiring 10%. So we only request 20% because that's what the SBA application form requires, but just be prepared, have the documentation prepared in the event that your lender requires kind of drilling down a bit more from that information. The next step in the process after you provide the owner information is to utilize our financial model. And we developed this calculator, but it's based on what the requirements are for the program, to calculate the average monthly payroll costs and therefore the maximum loan amount that you qualify for. So you'll provide the gross wages paid. That's from the last year. If you haven't been in business for an entire year, then it's whatever data you can provide, assuming you were in business starting, I believe it's February 15th, 2020. The next one kind of can be confusing, so I just want to highlight. If you pay any employees over $100,000 a year, you would just subtract the amount that's over 100,000. So if they're paid 120,000, you would just put in 20,000 here, and it would subtract that out of the gross wages paid. And so once you get the average monthly payroll costs, and that is any expenses associated with payroll that you can see here, the maximum amount that you're eligible for is 2.5 times that. We ask some application questions. These are also on the application. So there are yes, no attestations. Some of them, like if you have stakes or greater than 20% ownership or control in another business, you're going to need to provide some information about what that other entity is and what your role is. And then if you've received any other loans, you're going to need to provide specifics around that. So the next step is uploading documents. This is what I would say requires the most preparation for. So I recommend getting all of these documents together before you begin the application process, whether it be with us or with your bank. So you're going to need any of the entity formation docs, like the certificate of formation, your articles of organization or incorporation, and hopefully these documents show and include a shareholder list. That way the lender can verify that you've included the information for all 20% or greater owners. And then you're also going to need to provide information to show your payroll expenses. This could be through tax filings, through income and expenses. So any of the documentation that you have, you need to provide so that they can validate that that was in fact your gross wages paid and your actual expenses. Then the last step of the process is to sign the application. So any of the information that we collected about your business is going to be auto-populated, and then you'll fill out any of the remaining fields, sign, and once you click submit, that's all you need to do. Our North Capital team is going to review your application, make sure that all of the documents are in order, and then you will be able to track the status of your application, whether or not it's been submitted to a lender or accepted by a lender within the dashboard. Keep in mind, if you have an opportunity to work with your own bank, I'm hearing that some banks are getting their limits expanded so that they can continue lending. So, you know, maybe your bank wasn't accessible a couple days ago and now they are. Feel free to reach out to the P3 Loans team. There's a contact form right there on the site. We're happy to help download what you did provide us and send it back to you. That way you can take your application package to your own bank. And then if our team comes back, let's say there's a missing application, missing document, you can just upload it here in the documents section and update any of the information that you provided us. So it's pretty straightforward as far as the application process is concerned. The feedback we've had from a lot of lenders is it's been a little chaotic for them to get everything processed from the SBA. So, we're working as much as we can to find other lenders and more reliable lenders, but we still encourage anyone who has a relationship with their bank that's accepting these applications. That's typically the best place to start.